Hi, this is Matt at Engadget. Today we're reviewing the Motorola Xoom 2, the sequel to the first ever Honeycomb tablet. As you can see, it's another 10.1-inch screen here. This time it's an IPS screen with much better viewing angles, although it still likes to pick up our fingerprints. It's very slim. At the top here you can see the microphone port and the IR blaster. On the sides the edges are very tapered with a soft plastic rim around the back. At the bottom here you can see the micro HDMI and the micro USB port, and a panel which apparently has access to nothing. There's no expandable storage on this 16GB model. It's worth noting that it feels very good in the hands, far better than the original Xoom, with the power switch and the volume rocker found on the back. Also on the back is a 5-megapixel camera capable of high definition video recording with an LED flash. Take a look at the sample here. We found the video samples weren't really up to scratch. Autofocus maybe even non-existent, especially with moving objects where the camera finds it difficult to lock on to exactly what it's meant to be focusing on. You'll find most of the moving things become a blur. Stills are generally quite good quality. There's no touch to autofocus here either, which means you're going to have to hope that the Xoom 2 focuses on exactly what you're looking for. Settings here include several scene modes for portrait and landscape and the like, and the ability to adjust between 3 focus modes: autofocus, infinity, and macro. Macro seems to be the best setting here, obviously for any close-up photos. We found the focus here was pretty good at picking up on what we wanted it to. You're able to adjust exposure and the size of the picture, and a few fun color modes like a negative and black and white. Going back to the software, the Xoom 2 arrives with Android 3.2, that's Honeycomb, the latest version, although we've been told by Motorola to expect Ice Cream Sandwich some point next year. It's very slick, very smooth, especially compared to when the original Xoom launched. The web browser itself is also very slick. It's very responsive to touch, and Motorola have added a special feature called Intelligent Grip Suppression, which means, although it sometimes does pick up our 2-finger motions as Xoom, means you'll be able to scroll while holding the tablet on the screen. Unlike the Motorola Droid Razr, there's thankfully not so much bloatware on the Xoom 2. One thing of note is the Recast app, which allows you to sync music, photos and video to your tablet from your PC or Mac. It's a relatively painless way to sync all your media to your devices, and there's a profiler and a music player built in. The music part actually reminds us a lot of Google Music, and the cloud software is probably a very good idea given the paucity of storage. The 1.5 GHz dual-core processor found in the Xoom 2 has no problems dealing with intensive apps and games. As you can see, this is Shadowgun running here, and it's very smooth and looks very detailed on the 10.1-inch screen. We also tried out Motorola's new active stylus that works exclusively with Xoom 2 software. It's got a solid nib and requires a quadruple A battery to work, but it's got a very good quality weight to it and reminds us of the Wacom stylus. Software includes floating notes, the app you can see running here, which allows you to make annotations on top of any apps or the web browser that you're using. Sadly, you won't be able to annotate screen grabs or anything like we've seen on the HTC Flyer, but nonetheless the stylus is very responsive and is a welcome addition for anyone who still likes their notes handwritten. And as you can see, it's pretty good at ignoring your wrist or fingerprints on the screen. The Xoom 2 is an improvement on the original in almost every way. Aside from the technical improvements, including the faster processor, there's now a greater variety of apps available for Honeycomb tablets, while the build quality is reassuringly solid, slim, and confident. The oddly shaped corners really do make a difference when handling the tablet for an extended period of time, and although it did seem oddly more comfortable in the portrait position than it did horizontally. Xoom 2 is available now in the UK, priced at around £400 or $620, and looks likely to appear in the US with an LTE radio intact on the Verizon branding. You can check out the full review at engadget.com.